I want to hear the president talk about the issues that are so important to my fellow Virginians. And what I hear from people across the Commonwealth is they're concerned about our freedoms. So specifically, I want to hear the president talk about abortion access, particularly in light of the decision in Alabama and the threats against not just abortion access, but IVF and contraception. I want to hear the president talk about the challenges of border security and immigration, the need for immigration reform and border security reforms. And unfortunately, we saw great progress in the United States Senate. And we saw Speaker Johnson say that those were going to be dead on arrival in the United States House. I want to hear him talk about the impact of challenges to our border security, such as the fentanyl crisis that continues to plague so many of our communities. I want him to talk about democracy and our support of Ukraine in their fight for their own democracy. And I want to hear him talk about costs and the impact that families across Virginia and the rest of the country are feeling in light of the fact that things are still expensive at the grocery store and rent and mortgage payments continue to be front of mind for so many families.
The stats are thrown out a lot about the economy and how it's good, but people don't feel it's good. How do you reconcile that? How does he reconcile that?
I think it's about talking very honestly, right? The numbers of the economy are in a good place. Unemployment is low. We are moving in the right direction with interest rates. But the cost of certain goods at the grocery store that went up a couple years ago, they haven't come down. And recognizing that impact, that people remember going to the grocery store and spending, X amount of dollars, and now it's X amount of dollars plus a bit more, right? That squeeze people feel. And I think that those things are recognizing that we are on a good trajectory is not inconsistent with also recognizing that the way we live day to day, so the prices we pay at the grocery store or the overall challenges related to housing affordability, we can recognize that both things can be true at the same time, and I want to hear the president talk about that.
How does everybody work in a bipartisan effort when we are in an election year?
Unfortunately, we haven't seen a great move forward from this speaker to bring bipartisan bills. I think that recognizing that, it's an election year. In Virginia, it's always an election year. We should be able to try and draw distinctions and contrasts between different candidates and their different priorities and also govern. The fact that it is March of 2024 and we are now only doing our FY24 appropriations bills, I think speaks to some of the dysfunction that frankly the American people are tired of. And that dysfunction lives, frankly with the speaker that has been unwilling as of late or until recently to bring bills forward. So I think we should listen very clearly to the American people that, yes, they know there's elections coming, but they still expect us to be doing our jobs. Because in the House of Representatives, we have elections every 2 years. If people were to accept the notion that you can't work in a bipartisan fashion during election years, a notion I totally reject, then half of a 2-year term, what is it we're achieving? And I think we should be achieving a whole lot more for the American people. And the way that we do that is by passing bills that get through the House, get through the Senate, and get to the president's desk. And when the United States Senate sends us bills that have broad bipartisan support, such as the 70 members of the United States Senate who voted for the National Security Supplemental, the House should bring those bills for a vote. The Speaker should bring those bills for a vote, allow them to get a vote, and allow us to send those broadly popular bills to the president's desk.
How would you say the state of our union is?
I think our country is always one of promise, and we're facing challenges in our political sphere. We're facing challenges in a whole host of ways, but I remain eternally optimistic that the United States of America is an exceptionally interesting, diverse, vibrant country that will continue to lead the way for others as a beacon of democracy and hope in a place that so many around the world just dream of one day visiting or moving to. And that's the country I believe in, and that's the country we are. But there's always some bumps and hurdles along the way.